Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Carbonite Convos Podcast. You are joining us today on December 28th. It's a Monday, and this is episode 22 coming at you. We apologize for the late start. We had spent about 5 minutes watching Alec try to figure out what pose he'd do to start off the show. So we spent about 5 minutes laughing because...
Listen, hey man, I cannot take all the blame for that. You were struggling there yourself. So
I always do the same thing.
So watch it, buddy. Jeez.
All right, but we got a big episode coming at you. I say that every week, but we are going to be talking about a couple different things. The main one is this list of Funko Pops I have right here of the top 10 Funko Pops from the Mandalorian Season 2. We spoke about this on our reaction, our podcast, talking about the finale. So we're gonna talk about that. It's 10 common pops, a couple honorable mentions, and then some of the specialty pops, like the scenes, rides, 2-packs, whatnot. Nothing crazy like pop pins or backpacks or anything like that. We all know Funko goes a little overboard sometimes, but we are going to do this podcast video about that, as well as a little breakdown of our episode rankings from season 2. And then for those of you who don't want to listen to us ramble for an hour, we are actually going to have a condensed version up on YouTube as well of just us kind of blowing through this list of pops, just so you guys can get the gist. But like always, you can find me at Funko Stud at pretty much every major social media platform. Find the page at Carbonite Convos on every social media podcast. Anything, you can find us at Carbonite Convos. And I am joined by Alec Porterfield, a.k.a. Robert W. Porterfield, a.k.a. Wall Crawler Pops. You ready? You ready to get into this?
Dude, I'm pumped, man. That you went a couple layers deep right there on that name.
That was a hell of an introduction, am I right?
Yeah, geez, like the man formerly known as Rutabaga. I don't know.
I don't even. Jeez. All right, so let's just get right into this list.
Yeah, dude.
So you got the list in front of you. Let's hear the first one.
So I'll get into this thing, man. So number one's Cobb Vanth, okay, or the Marshal. Nick, I don't know about you, man, but I'd be pretty pumped to see him in. It would have to be in that Boba armor, 100%.
Let me ask you this: going into this list, why don't for the sake of the podcast episode, not necessarily the after party video, but for the sake of these, why don't we give a rating from like maybe 1 to 5? Keep it easy on if we actually think it'll be made or not. Because this list is stretched. This is our imaginations plus some realism to what they might make. But some of them, they're not gonna. But it'd be awesome. That's why the video is 10 Funko Pops from season 2 that we need.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, to agree with you, Cobb Vanth, and you said in the armor, right?
See, I don't know, because he
or unmasked in the armor.
He was both. I would say. I don't think we're gonna get unmasked, but I would prefer it to be unmasked with the rest of the armor on.
Oh, you think he wouldn't have Boba's helmet on?
Right. I don't know. Would you like that on or off?
Well, you know me, I'd like it either way, but I don't think the helmet being off is out of the question.
Right. I think it. I don't know, man.
Because
it's gonna have to be off, because then you would think it's Boba Fett.
Exactly. I don't know. There's just something about it, like his character. What makes Cobb Vanth was not under Mando's helmet. You can make an argument for the armor. Like it helped free the city. But what I'm talking about is he's not a Mandalorian. Like the helmet does not belong on him, and I don't think they would make. Like maybe if they made a black series of it, they'd put that as a little accessory. But for a pop, I don't think they'd put the helmet on.
No, that makes sense. I agree. Plus the you have to recognize him.
Exactly.
For that alone.
Yeah. All right. So we ready to get on into number 2?
Well, what do you think what do you think the likelihood is that we're going to see Cobb Vanth?
That's the thing about our list. I'm going to be saying a lot of 4s and 5s. I'm going to try to keep it low on the 5s because I don't want to overdo it, but a lot of these are realistic. So Cobb Vanth, I'd have to go with a 4.
Right. I'd agree. I'd say 3.5-ish, somewhere in that range. Just I don't know exactly how many pops they're gonna want to make from this line. I don't know what their vibe is as far as are they gonna overdo it like they did for
Come
like
on.
Avengers Endgame or
There's a difference between overdoing it and making a lot of different pops, because we don't have people repeated on here except for maybe
True.
a couple. And that's with, we're looking at 10, 13, 15. We're looking about 18 total pops here, and we only have a couple things of multiple people other than Mando, because you need a couple with him, obviously. But yeah, I think Cobb could be in there pretty easily. Number 2, Frog Lady.
That's so comical that she's become like people are it's kind of it's a meme, but it's like
I wouldn't say like people like her. She was like a little heartwarming character.
Exactly.
She
ended up coming in clutch. So.
Exactly. And sorry, I'm pointing behind me. If they made the Mythrol, I think they'd make Frog Lady.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, would she be holding that little egg incubator thing,
or would it be on her back?
Or would it be on her back? Yeah. Definitely on her back.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. And her little, her little robes.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
No, it would be. What do you think the likeliness is of it?
Well, like you said, if they made the Mythrol, I don't know, man. I think I'd give this like a 4.
I would too, because she's one. Like I said, she's a heartwarming character. She was one of those very unique characters. She wasn't human. She was almost as far off as you can be from human, because she was very, alien-like. Well, she was an alien, clearly.
Amphibious.
Frog lady. Amphibious, yes. Attaboy. Are we going to get into number 3, or should we stay on a Mama Frog?
No, man, let's go ahead and go on the 3.
All right. You want it, or you want me to have it?
No, so we got Ahsoka. Okay. Now, while I do believe they're going to make an Ahsoka pop, what we would like to see is her potentially hooded, probably wielding both of her lightsabers. That'd be really sick. However, I don't know how likely it is we're going to get exactly that.
Let me ask you, what do you think is the most likely? Do you think she'll have her sabers?
See, I don't even know.
Really?
I don't think it's going to be hooded.
I don't think it will be. But...
I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they're going to do the lightsabers, especially with the Clone Wars the second wave that had recently come out with the lightsabers. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to want to do something so similar.
That's why I put the hooded, because she was very young in that, and this it really differentiates her look. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why it's hooded double saber. It's got to be in some type of action pose. What do you think?
No, I agree. It has to be something where she's not just standing there. But
here, I moved it right here. Almost like, picture this pop. It would basically be like that, except in my eyes, it would be her like that with her lightsaber. And for those of you who are listening to this video, I'm sorry, I'm trying to give the best description I can. Her lightsaber behind her back, like she's about to fight, in her hand in front of her using the Force. But I think in this one, she'd just have both of her lightsabers and a hood on. And obviously the pop would be a little thicker. The face would clearly look different. But I don't know. That's just how I envisioned it.
Would the face look that different, though?
Yeah, I think so. Because
maybe.
especially with the new Clone Wars wave, like you said, she looks very...
She does look older than the previous.
Yes, and it also, like, it really looks like her. You know what I mean? Like, they did a very good job making just another being.
It's a great mold.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Right,
so I think us getting an Ahsoka pop is definitely a 5. We're getting something.
Bing,
okay?
Bing, bing.
Our perfect idea, it's more of a 2 or 3 for me.
Let me throw an idea out there at you. Because of the first time we see her, she's in the dark. You only see her when her lightsabers are ignited, and most of the time you can only see the sabers. So if they're going to do this pop, I think it could be realistic based on that scene that they make the lightsabers glow in the dark. I hadn't really compared it, but what do you think?
I'm not against that. Obviously we got that glow in the dark dark saber with Moff Gideon.
Yeah,
I could see that potentially being something like that, where they do like a later release, a T-shirt glow in the dark, which is
Funko
annoying, but oh well. I could see something like that easily happening.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. You got number 3. Now I got the big one of the night, the big question mark we have next to it. Boba Fett. Boba Fett sitting at number 4. Now, we were having a hard time with this one because there's really 3 options. And that's him without any of the armor. So right when he shows up on Tython.
That would be my personal favorite
I do think
of the trio.
Sorry. Yeah, no, that would be really it's very unique of him.
No, but go ahead with 2 and 3.
That one with it when he first gets his new armor and his new matte looking armor. So we're having trouble thinking of the most realistic combo they could do. I'd like to see this one with a chase, personally, because with a character with that many differences, but I still think they're slight. I still think there's slight differences. I definitely think this is a pop with, a common and a chase. It's just figuring out that combination.
I personally, I would absolutely love the pop of Boba with like the newly painted armor. However, again, that's so similar to what we already have, that you might not be able to tell a huge difference. What I would like to see.
I feel like you didn't say that earlier.
No, I just thought of this. I'd actually like to see another one of if he is going to be in his armor, it being immediately after he acquires it when he's wearing it over the robes.
Really?
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I completely understand. So that's where he's wearing the same getup, and then he just has the armor on as well. But
it's all damaged.
You make a great point, because when you look at Boba Fett pops,
you're exactly right. There's nothing different.
No, and we have one on the screen right here just as kind of a reference. But
like, what else could you do?
I don't know, because that's a good point. You really might not be able to tell the difference, except it's slightly colored a little differently. But I don't know. But when you think of it like this, the Wrecker pop, there's some detail on that helmet. So I think they could get away with doing one with the old armor with no, when it was all chipped. They could do a style like that now, but they could also just do a better version of the Boba Fetts we have.
I just had an idea.
Let's hear it.
So if they were to make one of Boba with the robes, with the armor over the robes, okay?
Yeah.
That being the normal, then the chase being him similar to when, like, the Commander Cody pop of him holding the Emperor in his little hand with the hologram.
Yeah.
It being that the text that pops up.
The chain code. Wow, that's genius.
You're welcome. I'm just kidding.
So wait, what was the first option again? Rich, say that, but a little.
So we have Boba and his robes with the damaged armor on top of the robes.
And then him with his helmet off, showing the chain code.
Yes.
Dude, that's a great idea. Look at you.
That would be sick. I would pre-order that right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
That'd be sweet. That would be sweet.
Now to the real question, is that worthy? What number are you putting on that?
I don't know if I'm just excited. I think the non-chase is a 4.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. That would be sweet. The chase, however,
the chain code, that's
like a 1, bro. Like,
I'd give it a 1.5 because it's not. I don't think it's not gonna happen, but I definitely don't think it is gonna happen.
That would be so dope, though.
That would be such a cool pop.
At Funko, please do this.
How about this? You guys like it? No, we'll say this in the next videos, and it's like, Funko, if we get 10,000 likes on this video, make this pop. Oh,
that'd be sick.
All right, so yeah, I'd give the regular Boba a solid. Dude, I'd give any Boba Fett a 5. Like, not any Boba Fett, but
100%.
Boba Fett as a whole, 5. Our idea, or for at least the one that you said with the robes and then the thing over it, I would give that like a 4-ish as well. 4-ish as well. Yeah.
Force sensitive?
Force. Yes, sir.
Oh my
All
God.
right. So we doing number 5.
Okay, so I think this is going to be a 5 as well, but we got Fennec.
Yep.
In some capacity, like we got the Book of Boba coming, like they're going to have to do something with Fennec.
What's interesting is I was almost thinking about doing, for our scenes list, I was going to put Boba on the throne with Fennec, but then I started thinking they got to save that for when the actual Book of Boba Fett comes out, and then they can keep us waiting until then, you know?
Right. Now, here's the real question. Well, actually, if this is season 2 based, it shouldn't even be a question, but is she going to have her stomach repaired?
I don't think it can be repaired.
You know, no. The pop, is it going to be
well,
her
we can't see her stomach.
Well, you see it when you first see her.
Oh, yeah, but I don't think that's going to be on the pop.
You don't think so?
Oh, no, what? I'd give that a 1. If we didn't put 0 in it, but I don't think there's any way we see one with her showing her. And watch me be completely wrong. Watch that be in wave 1. But
I will hold you. I will absolutely.
You should. I just don't think that's going to happen because
but
I think she has to have her gun and be in a. Whether it's in the helmet or not, I can't really say because she doesn't wear her helmet too often. But I definitely think Fennec's happening, and it's not with the stomach thing.
It's gonna have to be a Fennec, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely. She was a big part of the story there. All right, oh man, I actually like the way this list ended up turning out. How I get number 6. All right, I'd say this is the biggest one out of the common ones.
Yeah, potentially.
All right, we got to go with our boy Luke Skywalker, hooded in an action pose. So when I was thinking of this, I was envisioning the Obi-Wan pop here on the screen. That's from Revenge of the Sith. It was when he went to the temple with Yoda. So I really see a lot of Luke in this episode, how Obi-Wan did. Because you think of the first time, not that we see the blade, but that we see the hilt of his lightsaber in the episode, he's walking like this. So him in some kind of action pose with his hood up and the saber out, I think that's definitely what we're going to see.
You said similar to kind of to like the Obi-Wan pop from Revenge of the Sith. The Walgreens.
I just said that.
Right? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I completely missed that.
I was zoning out here.
I zoned. I was reading through this thing over here.
He's dancing on the last episode. He's zoning on this episode. Jeez. All right. Yeah, so for the third time, it's going to be Obi-Wan from But what do you think? What do you think is the most likelihood of well, what do you think is the not the variant, but
we're getting a Luke.
Oh yeah, 5.
5. Easy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like again, I could see it being hooded.
Yeah.
I think so.
I definitely think it's going to be hooded.
Action pose though, I'm not sure.
Well, let me tell you, the reason why they will make a hooded one and do an action pose rather than him standing there is because they already have it. Right. And I'll put the pop up on the screen again, and I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. I hope the middle is this way. I have a feeling that I'm wrong, but you never know. Oh, dang. I definitely am pointing the wrong way because my sweater's backwards while I'm looking at this. So, yeah, in the middle over here.
Somewhere around here. Yeah. I don't know.
I lost my train of thought. I was talking about Luke. Oh, it's because they already made the pop, and it's still on the screen right here or here. But it would look too similar if they didn't have him in some kind of pose. Because I can't remember what line it's from, but it was him from Return of the Jedi, and then they have him with his hood off and the saber ignited. So it's got to be something different than those two.
I agree. Now that you say that, I'm with you.
I think the thing they have to watch out for, which we've brought up in the past about pops, is that we have to think of if they're going to make it and devalue the other ones. because they've gone up. Those two pops have gone up in value since the season finale, and we'll have them both on the screen now. These pops have gone up in value pretty decently since the finale. So you wonder if they'd stick away from that kind of design, not to, break that high value.
I don't know. That's a good question. I hope they make one.
I hope they do too.
The thing, it would be different, but
I think
it would depreciate them. I think it would.
Yeah. Thing we also have to think about is there have also been times where a movie has come out and we both said, oh, they definitely have to make this pop. The fact that, I'm going to use an example. The fact that for Avengers Endgame, we got like 10 different Hulk pops, but we don't have one pop of Doctor Strange doing this. That blows my mind. They made so many damn Endgame pops, and they missed out a couple key, just individual pops.
Yeah.
Seriously,
we have every Hulk ever. But
jeez, we have so many Thors too.
Dude, it's actually a little much.
Oh yeah, I remember I was trying to complete that, and I had every single one but one, and then I decided I couldn't keep. I don't have the room for those, so I sold from Endgame. I'm looking right now. I sold probably 3/4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get rid of those, clear up some room. All right, but we kind of got off track there. You got going along the same lines. We got number 7 coming up from old Bobby.
I think this is a 1 in my coming at you. For
what?
And I'll tell you why.
Oh,
okay?
You gotta explain this.
The Dark Trooper. Okay.
What?
Maybe I'm looking at this. Maybe I'm looking at this in the wrong way.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm sorry. I'll let you talk.
They
it just blows my mind.
They have struggled with droids. We have no droids from the prequels. So I don't think they've been. About? What do you mean?
What do the prequels have to do with it?
I'm saying I don't think they ever focus on droids. So that's why I don't think it's going to be one of the ones they make. I would love it. I would absolutely love that for that to be a thing.
Dude, I'm sorry. I have to disagree. Like, I think this one's like a 4.
You're literally an idiot. Right here, buddy. Right here.
All right. So now let me explain my thing. Like, I see where you're coming from a certain point of view. But the way I see it, I'm going to think of each line. Rogue One, they came out with 2 for K2SO. They came out with a good 3 or 4 for BB-8. They for Solo, they made the 2-pack of the droids from the little thing. Like, I don't think they shy off from making droids. Now, I don't think they're going to make several, but even Jedi Fallen Order, the Purge Troopers, because I don't think they're necessarily. And that'd be a big debate for my collection because I'm big on the troopers. I'd have to put it with the troopers, so I wouldn't consider it.
I don't know. Really?
I wouldn't consider it a droid. Like, it's not. I'm not going to put it in my droid section. If anything, it's going to go in the Mando section, like the Mandalorian show section, or the troopers, because that's too like.
Really, you don't consider it like if you had to pick one.
It's a droid.
You consider it a trooper.
Yeah, just for the sake of the collection.
Huh.
Because,
but while we're on that topic, what about in general though? Like, do you think do you consider them more of a trooper or more of a droid?
No, I think they're half and half. I think they're half and half. So yes, they are droid, but also they're a trooper. I'm trying to explain this for the sake of the collection is why, and the look of it is why I'm going with trooper, because the droid pops. They're cool. As a huge Star Wars fan, I have a little droid section. I don't have it fully made right now just because of room, but they're very similar. You know what I mean? And yes, this one could make it look different, but I think it just belongs in the trooper section because there's so many unique troopers. And I think it just belongs in that little, I think it belongs in that section. That's just my opinion though.
No, I mean, that's a valid point. I didn't really look at it that way. My only concern about the whole thing is them, because we're going to get more than what's on this list, and we're probably not going to get many that are on this list.
No.
I was saying no, like Yeah, so I just don't know if that's going to be one of the ones that they put effort into. I hope they do, but
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, yeah. They were so awesome and so hyped about, especially in the Star Wars community. I just feel like it would be on there.
Sure.
I don't know. I am excited for that IG-11 holding Baby Yoda pop.
Dude, that thing is cool. That is pretty dope. It's a t-shirt combo, right?
It is. I wouldn't mind that shirt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. All right, so getting into number 8, and this one has the funny story behind it. We're going with Dr. Pershing. We decided to go with I don't know if anybody doesn't know this yet, but it's actually pretty funny. So we see him in the first scene of the season finale, and they board the ship, and he's being held hostage by the Imperial. I don't know if he was like a co-pilot. He has the gun up, and Cara Dune's pointing. She shoots the officer or the co-pilot in the face, and you hear Pershing scream. And I didn't notice it until it was pointed out on Twitter that later in the scene where he's telling them about the Dark Troopers, about Gideon's ship, he has a big chunk of his ear missing. So I think that'd be a very funny feature that they'd have to put into the pop.
Like that would, to me, that's a good idea of a chase. Like where it's a very subtle difference. I don't know if people agree with me on that or not, but I think that's a perfect chase.
Yeah, and I think the likelihood of that one being a chase is probably like a 2.
Right.
But you're absolutely right that that's the type of style a chase goes after, because it's a very subtle difference. But let me step back. You think of like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Their chases are their helmets on. The chase of the Wasp is unmasked. So that's a pretty significant difference.
I agree. That's a good idea for any Mando for the future type of thing. But we can get a number 9.
Number 9, let's do it.
All right, so we have an
going on
unmasked. I know, literally while we're on this topic, an unmasked Din holding Grogu. Obviously, like right before he gives them to Luke.
Yep. Oh man, it's just sad.
Nick, you sent me a really cool. Someone did a custom.
I'll put the picture up. I'll put the picture up on the screen. And
that looks perfect. It's literally him.
Yes, because it's the pop of Pedro Pascal's character in Game of Thrones. So they took his head, stuck it on a chrome Mando pop. I think it's the chrome one.
Here's the real question: is how did they get the spring in there? They must have just super glued it or something.
Maybe it's not a spring.
I'm not sure.
Well,
I thought it was.
The thing with pops is, I've done my fair share of like a few customs over the past couple months. You can always cut for the ones that don't bobble. It's just a little piece that's glued in there. The head is hollow. Mm-hmm. You cut that piece out and you turn the spring into it. You leave the spring on the body and you just turn the spring into it, and then you just adjust it from there. Yeah. So it was a great custom piece, but it's also an older head. So this new one would look a lot more, a lot newer and
more accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that'd be really cool. What do you think?
I think we're going to get, I think there's a 4 or 5 that we get an unmatched Din in some capacity.
Yeah, they have to because there's more of an emphasis on it this season.
What else they would do? I don't know.
Well, we have one on there on our.
There's one more potential that we'll get into.
We'll get into that.
All right, so you want to get into 10?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think him holding Grogu. I think that specific pop, I'd give that like a 3. I'm about 50-50 on that specific one as a whole. But number 10, this one took some debate because, I don't know, we get a lot of Mando pops of just specifically Din alone, but we thought this one was just too cool not to put in there, and it's Din with the dark saber, and the dark saber is glow in the dark. So it'd look a lot like the Moff Gideon one, but
That'd be so sick.
It'd be Din, it's much better.
I guarantee you could make a custom if you take the Moff Gideon one right now.
Yeah, man. They're right behind me right here, so I can just barely not reach them.
How unfortunate.
To check, I know, right? I know. All right, so yeah, that one, I'd give it 2.5 because it'd be dope.
Of the ones on that list,
yeah,
that or the Boba would be my first purchase.
Really? Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my first purchase. It'd have to be Luke or Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too cool. It's just so good having them in there. So should we throw in the honorable mentions now or later?
Go ahead. No, you go ahead and throw those. We got 3 honorable mentions coming at you.
So we'll just do them like all together. So we got. Wait, I didn't look up her name. I forgot to look up the mechanic lady's name. But number 1, mechanic lady from from chapters 9 and 10. Bugman, forgot to look up him too. Dr. something. And then Baby Yoda with the blue cookies. So we thought, these were, for the first 2, we were like, yeah, they're cool characters. They were like unique in that one episode. But other than that, I don't think I'd buy the pop for either of them.
No, but it gives me a little bit of hope with it if they did the
Cobb Vanth.
No, the Mithril.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but
and he
still,
was in it for 2 seconds.
Yeah, and I got the Mithril one, of course, but I got it for $5, so some of them you can't beat. But yeah, I just don't know if I'd get them, especially the ant guy. And then we chose the child with cookies, just because, so I'm sure plenty of people would buy it. But for us, I only have one Baby Yoda pop. That's it. That's all I need. I only need the one. But I just think they've done so many child with anything pops like that we don't need anymore. Okay. All right. So those were the 3 honorable mentions, and now in what order should we do these? Because we have special ones, rides, and scenes.
Let's go special first, then rides, then scenes.
Okay, so just write down the list. So why don't you do the first one, and I'll do the second one.
Okay, so this one I think is really cool, personally, and I see a 2-pack of the Rangers from chapter, let's see, what was it, 10?
They were in a couple.
True.
They were in 10. The one was in chapter 12. Yeah, but a 2-pack of them would be really cool. The only thing I worry about with that is with the Rangers of the New Republic show coming out soon. I don't know when that's going to be. I'm sure it's in a few years. I don't know if they would make the 2-pack just for the show to come out. I think Ahsoka's different because you can make the same argument, but I don't know. It'd be cool though. I'd buy it.
I think it'd be
just
sweet.
For Dave Filoni.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To be honest, that'd be the main reason.
Yep. All right. So number 2 on my specials list is, like Alex said earlier, we think in some capacity we're going to get an unmasked Din. So I think what would be really cool would be a 2-pack of Din and Mayfeld and their trooper armors unmasked. I think that was a very powerful scene on a lot of different levels, both with the Empire story with Mayfeld and what was the Imperial? I can't remember his name. Damn. And then Din actually having to take his mask off.
No doubt.
Find this dude's name.
That would be sick. That's such a good combo.
Yeah.
Especially with Bill Burr recently coming back to the light as far as Star Wars goes.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if I sent it to you, but I heard a funny video of Bill Burr talking about Star Wars.
Dude, he is funny, bro.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know about his comedy, like it's very inappropriate stuff, but it's just funny.
So next we got, I don't think this is very likely, but seeing like a 10-inch crate dragon would be really cool. Kind of similar to like how they did like the big Demogorgon from Stranger Things. I feel like it kind of look similar parts to that thing.
No, I think you're right because it's a giant alien monster.
Yeah.
Well, what would he be? A reptile?
Thing, right?
Would he be a reptile?
Who?
The
Demogorgon?
The crate dragon.
The crate dragon.
Yeah, I mean it's a dragon. Is that its own thing? Or are they?
I don't know, dude. Are reptiles a thing in space, bro?
Well, do you think like alligator people or crocodile people in space are they reptiles?
No, because it's like Rocket from Guardians. Like he's not a raccoon.
True.
So he's not like a mammal.
But
is he? I don't know.
I don't know. Jeez, we're going into some uncharted territory. All right, so let's go to rides. Do you want to do number one, or do you want me to?
Yeah, we only got two options here. So one would obviously have to be Din in the Razor Crest. Now, would it be normal or damaged?
Dude, that's the question. I think it'd have to be damaged because
if this is from season 2, it's probably going to be damaged.
Yeah, dude, that ship has been through hell and back. Well, now it's not back, but
now it's just in hell.
Back in hell. Well, heaven for the Razor Crest. Goodness. But yeah, do you think it being destroyed now has any effect on if it might be made or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they might wait until he gets a new ship and then do something with that.
Let me tell you this. I think it's the opposite just because I think there's more of an emphasis on his ship now.
Yes.
I don't know how to explain it, but if he's always in the Razor Crest, look at how long it took him to make a Millennium Falcon pop. I get that it's huge, but they could have made one smaller earlier, Right. But with him in the Razor Crest, it's very kind of iconic in the Star Wars world by now, I'd say. In a way, not like X-Wings or anything like that, but it's kind of one of those very popular ships. Now that it's destroyed, I think they might make it so they have it because they can't make it next year or anything. They can't make it a year from now or anything like that because it would have been gone too long. So I think if they made it in this kind of first wave, they get it out of the way and then maybe eventually he gets a new ship.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
There's still a lot of ships that I can't believe they don't have.
Dude, that Millennium Falcon is massive.
It's too big. And I have it sitting right there.
Dude,
jeez.
It's too big.
It's way too big. I think eventually I'm just going to hang it.
There's a Chewbacca one too. That's the crazy
thing. It's ridiculous. I think I'm just going to hang it from the ceiling, man, because I don't have room to put it on something. But dude, we're going to have to make a video. Here's another idea. 10 ship pops that they should make. 10 Star Wars ship pops.
Sick.
I don't think that's a bad idea. We'll make the little condensed version. All right, but going into number 2. So I think it's going to be Din on a speeder with Grogu in the basket. And I just think it's one of those unique ones because we already have 4 speeders, yes, from Return of the Jedi. We have the Ewok, the Scout Trooper, then Luke and Leia. But I think what would make that kind of like the Bantha with Mando on the Bantha with Baby Yoda in the pack. It'd kind of be that fashion, but be a little smaller. Maybe so people can have something like that don't want a damn Bantha pop.
Just a huge
dude,
that's
they're
funny.
Big, man. I'm looking at like the Wampa pops. They're too big. I got my mic sitting on 2 of those. It's sitting on a Marvel Collector Core, Infinity War end credit scenes box, and then 2 of those Empire Strikes Back, one of the 6 scenes.
Shipping boxes?
Yeah. No, well, yeah, but no, the pops are in it. For Christmas, I just haven't taken them out. I just got back yesterday. So that's what's making it so steady-ish.
Jeez.
All right, so let's get into
it over. I know, right? Oh, my goodness.
Let's get into the scenes. We don't want to keep them too long. All right, we got Grogu meditating. Now, this one's really cool, and when I thought up this one, I was picturing it kind of Jim Lee style. He does some of the DC pop, pretty much all the major, DC characters, and they're not scenes. It's more like an individual pop with a nice scenic base. Right. So I pictured this one being in that fashion. What do you think?
No, I agree. Very easily done too. Very easily done. I think this is very realistic.
I would say, and I know we haven't really talked about exclusives too much, but I think this would be a box lunch exclusive, and that
Don't tell me that.
I know, and that rat bastard would be $29.99. They come out with all these Stitch Pops, and they're like $30. Now, I don't collect Stitch or anything like that, but they're known for having those little boxes, like, not little boxes. They're bigger than the normal ones, but they're not giant like scenes. They're notorious for getting those, and Alec has none near him. I have one, so they're just kind of a hassle too. But yeah, I could just see that happening.
They make me really mad.
You look so upset. It's so funny.
I was, bro. It's
you even did the exhale. You're like, you're pissed.
That and Walgreens make me so mad, and it sucks because all my damn Spider-Mans come from Walgreens, and God, it makes me so bad. I see new things come out, or I see like on Instagram and things, and you'll be like, oh, you'll see a list of like coming soon. And you're like, oh, dope. And then they like have the glamour shots of them, and it's like, all 12 of these are Walgreens exclusives. And I'm like, son, oh my God.
I think I agree. Walmart is so 50. I wouldn't even say 50-50, man. It is a thing of its own when it comes to trying to find Funko Pop exclusives.
Jeez. Box Lunch and Walgreens are the worst.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Well, no, I think Box Lunch, you just think that because you don't have one near you. Because I kind of like Box Lunch. The same reason I like Hot Topic exclusives and Targets is because most of the time, the day that the pop is coming out. And this was pre-COVID, so things have changed a little bit. But back when they had all the Target cons and all that, like I love getting Target and
easy.
I don't love getting. I like Hot Topic and Target are my two that I think are decently easiest. Yeah, knock on wood. But yeah, I just see that being Box Lunch. All right, but let's get into the second one. You got this one.
All right, so we got a scene of Luke holding Grogu with R2 being by his side.
Dude, that would be the first one I buy.
Yeah. Dude, like what else could you ask for?
I don't even know what, like, there's not much to say about that just because it's such a given. That scene where you bring back two of the most iconic characters in the whole franchise to meet the newest icon in the galaxy, and to train him. I think they 100%, they have to make it. Now, the likelihood of getting that, what sucks, I think it's like a 2-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, which sucks.
I see us probably getting like one scene.
If that. All right, so number 3, we got to go with Din versus Moff Gideon. Now,
to me, this is the most likely of the scenes we have on the list.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really cool because if they do it, they have to have the saber and the spear clashing, and they have to make the spear orange. Where they have to. If they are paying attention to detail at all, which sometimes they don't.
They don't.
Sometimes they don't. They gave Thor gloves in the Infinity War pops, and he's never worn freaking gloves. It's like, where did this come from? Who is in charge of this design? So hopefully they just make that damn spear glow orange. Not even glow, just I know, dead ass. I compare it a lot to the. Actually, I think I'd compare it most to the Last Jedi scenes with Rey and the Praetorian Guard, because a lot of the pops we have now, they're not clashing, and when in that pop scene, they molded a little like blast between the sabers to where you could see that they were connecting, and it was like almost voltage coming off of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know it's not lightsaber on lightsaber, but I still think that they could make it a very good pop.
I agree.
Yeah, whether they will, let's hope. And then we have one more that I don't really think it's likely, but it'd be really dope. Go for it.
That has to be Ahsoka talking to Grogu on the log, communicating through the Force.
Yep.
That'd be sweet.
Yep. It'd be really cool. Cool. And I just imagine the background in that box too, because that's
what would the background in the box and Din and Moff Gideon would be just like
the inside
wall.
of the ship. Yeah.
Right. But this one will be very detailed.
Yeah, this one could be really cool. I don't think it'll be very detailed, but I think it'll be a nice picture if
Like
they
a
ever did
moon,
make it.
and then like
Yeah.
the trees.
That'd be a really nice pop. A
It
little
would.
fire between them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the fire glows. I doubt they'd go into that, but that'd be pretty cool.
No doubt.
That'd be pretty cool. All right, so that rounds off our list. That rounds off the list. So what do you think, guys? First of all, more importantly, we want to know what you guys think. So if you're listening to this on any podcast channels, please just shoot us a review. Tell us your thoughts. If you're on YouTube, just let us know here right in the comments whether there were some that we missed or there were some that you thought were particularly freaking awesome on our list. Feel free to let us know. But what's next? Do you want to get
all I'm saying is if they make any of these, we get 15%.
15? My gosh, there's no way. All right, so we had a lot of Funko Pop talk. Why don't we get into the Mandalorian Season 2 episode rankings?
Yeah, for sure, bro.
All right, so we each made these together as, a collective. So we're going to start with number 8, and we do have a flip-flop at the end that we just could not agree on, but we're going to just start at number 8. And Alec, how about you start us off?
So coming in number 8, we have The Passenger. I think most people can agree with this.
Yeah.
I think this would be probably considered a filler episode. Well, I still enjoyed it. I still thought it was great. It was not even close to measure up to the level of hype that everything else this season did.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
There were some really funny moments and some really bonding moments between Din and Grogu and Frog Lady. But,
and we don't meet them, but we see again the Rangers of the New Republic. So it was a cool episode, but again, it just didn't make the cut for us in terms of making it higher on the list. So number 7 number 8 was that. Number 7, we had to go with The Siege. So this one was where Greef Karga, Cara Dune, and Din and Mithral go to the Imperial base. They overrun it. They end up exploding the base and getting in the chase down with a couple TIE fighters, some scout troopers on the speeder bike. Just to give you a quick recap, which again, it was a really cool episode. We learned a lot of information from. Well, not
we
even
also
that we
saw
learned.
We saw some things we'd never seen before, as far as like the speeders and beautifully made.
We'll get into that get into that in a sec. It was more of not that we learned a lot, but more that they gave us stuff that we had to question, specifically with the cloning process, with those people or creatures in the tube vial things, and that
we also
that
potentially
liquid.
saw Snoke.
Yeah, so there's a lot of questioning we could do, but again, measured up to this season, I don't think it compares.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know. All right, let's go to number 6.
Number 6, we have the Marshal. We said the Marshal for 6, right?
Yeah, this was a hard one because I think what made the list so hard here down at the bottom couple is that you had a couple episodes really low and I had some episodes high. So we had to kind of meet in the middle to see where. And I just think this one, I loved the episode. It was an awesome episode.
Loved
to
seeing
start
the
off the
Tusken
season.
Raiders get some light and all that.
We saw so many things that we've seen before that was just, it was kind of heartwarming to see. We see the Banthas, we hear about the Crate Dragon, we see the Tusken Raiders, we see the Massives, we see Boba Fett's armor. We have all this stuff that we really do resonate with.
And we see Boba Fett for the first time.
Exactly. So there's all this stuff that we resonate with, but it doesn't compare to meeting Ahsoka and Luke and Boba in action, So I love the episode. It was just hard to have up there on the list for me.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. So the next one, Chapter 5. Chapter 5. This is another one that we had to shift around. We went with the Heiress. Now, I had this one sitting at number 3, and Alec had it at number 6. So I had to send it down. He had to bump it up just to, make the best of it. But I really liked this because it was our first introduction to a major animated character in The Mandalorian. and I really, except like a Loth cat, but that doesn't count. But like having Bo-Katan, like our first live action person that was in the animated shows first, I think that was really what opened the door up. And I look at that episode more as a whole of how I felt looking at the future of Star Wars when I saw that episode. Plus, it was the first time we saw 3 real Mandalorians in season 2. So it was just really cool to see them in action.
No doubt. I'm right there with you, especially on the part about seeing the new Mandos. Because we had no idea who and what was out there to that point. So
exactly.
Answered some questions.
Yeah. I remember I had that episode spoiled for me, which was kind of unfortunate. I saw it on Twitter. Yep. That's always rough.
All right, so we'll go ahead and hop to number 4. I think we were both mutual on this one.
No. Oh yeah. Sorry. The Believer.
Mm-hmm. So we have the Believer. This was not a lot of people's most favorite episode, but me and Nick have had several conversations about it. We both love it. Every aspect
my list. Of it. I had the wrong ones on the wrong numbers, but that was my bad. But yeah, what were you saying?
Dummy. I forgot what I was gonna say.
We had a lot of right ones on the right aspects, or something like that.
No.
You were talking about the Believer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So we've had a lot of conversations about it, and we both just thought it was like a very dramatic episode, very well written. The wording, especially with Mayfeld. I personally my complete mindset on Mayfeld shifted 180 degrees after that episode. So that was a really good one for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. We saw one of the most tense scenes in Star Wars where I did not know what was going to happen. I was kind of worried because they just kept you going. They just had them going back and forth, getting increasingly not more awkward, but more intense.
Suspense.
Crazy. Yes. Yeah.
It just continued to go. We're like, oh my God, when's it going to end? And then just, bam, mic drop all at once.
Yeah, Bill Burr did an incredible job. So shout out to him.
Yes, he did.
Right. So now getting into the flip-flop where me and Alec couldn't agree. So I'll just lay it out for him and then we'll explain. So coming in for me at number 3 was the tragedy. Now that was the one where we first see Boba Fett in action. We see Grogu meditating, obviously with it being the tragedy. That's where the Dark Troopers fly down. They take him up to Moff Gideon's ship. I had that one at number 3 and the Jedi at number 2 with Ahsoka. Alec had them flip-flopped. He had the Jedi at number 3 and Boba at number 2. So let's hear yours, man. Let's hear it.
Yeah, man. Real hot take here. Personally, I was more excited for the buildup of Boba as a character rather than the appearance of Ahsoka. Just because Ahsoka was already a fantastic character. Not saying that Boba wasn't, but he had never been given the right perspective of just how cool he really is. And I think everyone agrees with that. That's just why, for me personally, he's got just a tick over her. There's not much separation there. I've just always been a fan of Boba, and specifically people who wear armor and things. I'm very drawn towards those characters. So I just always was.
Definitely. And for me, I kind of viewed it almost the same, but not even because of Ahsoka, but more what we learned about Baby Yoda. That was the first time we learned his name. We learned his backstory, just of the connection between Ahsoka and Grogu. I think that's what did it for me. A little over Boba Fett. I absolutely loved it. You can see it in our reaction how hyped we both were for Boba.
Oh, 100%.
But I don't know when
the other thing that put the tragedy above it for me was the scene at the end when Din sent the message to Moff Gideon. Ooh. I'm coming for you.
Ooh, that's a good one, man.
That was sick.
Damn,
especially the end of the episode. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was fired up, dude. After that, it was 2 a.m. I was like, let's go.
I remember it was like 4 a.m. here.
Yeah, true.
All right, let's get into number one. I think this could have been guessed, but Alec, let's hear it.
Dude, the rescue.
Yes, sir.
Has to be. Which is saying something when we know how good the previous 7 were, and that this like trumps them, like no question.
Seeing
what else can you ask for?
We've talked about it twice already. We talked about it in the reaction, and we talked about it in the podcast after the reaction. But the quick version of this is having Luke Skywalker back means so much to so many people, and me included. And there was nothing that could have topped this in this season. Not Ezra, not Cal Kestis could have topped it emotionally for me. It would have been really awesome as well. And I'm sure for some people, they would have much rather seen one of those, which that's cool for them too. But for me personally, seeing Luke Skywalker come in with R2-D2 on top of that put it over the top for me, clearly. You know what I like specifically about a very specific detail about that episode was the music that played during Luke's entrance into the hallway. The first time you see a hooded character, you just see him, and the music is so impactful to that scene.
Dude, we never really talked about how beautifully choreographed that fight was. Oh, so even just in his movements, like the shifty,
we talked about that for sure.
Movement. We did a little bit, but like not about like
we talked how he's slower.
But just the actual what droid he or what Dark Trooper he killed where with what method, like that was planned out. Like that's perfection.
Yeah, because you find out which ones he's just cutting in half, which ones he's drawing to him with the Force, crushing with the Force. They had to show a lot in a little 1.5-minute span.
Oh, no doubt.
And then with the elevator, where you have like 10 troopers or something, like 10 dark troopers that turn around and are facing the elevator. I like how right when it pings that Luke Skywalker's coming up, one of their heads goes like, and then he just comes out in that Vader scene and just.
I'm curious what made him decide to all turn around. I guess maybe they had to send us like a signal or something saying that they got slaughtered downstairs. But
I think the dark troopers are Moff Gideon's project, I think. I could be wrong. I would assume they're Moff Gideon's project. And judging by how scared he looked when he found out it was Luke, maybe there is something built in, because they know not to kill Gideon. They know not to kill Grogu. Maybe they know somewhere in their hard drive that if Luke Skywalker is identified on the scene, if you're a dark trooper, you're on him, no matter what's happening, you know?
Huh.
Now, maybe they turned after one alerted everyone, all of them, that it was him. I don't know if that's possible, but I don't know. That would be my expectation of why they all turned.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, just threw that out there. All right, so that is the list of Funko Pops that we think that they should make, and that is our list of the ranked Mando episodes. We appreciate everybody's support through the entire Mandalorian season. I feel like we've been talking about this for months and months now, but it's they're giving us so much to talk about. But it's been really cool. But I think we might take a step back on the Mandalorian stuff for a little bit, just to explore the rest of the galaxy, talk about some topics. But again, guys, thank you for joining us. Before we forget, we do have the condensed list in a separate video. We have the link in the description, so definitely check that out if you just want to see the pop list. If you just came here to listen to the condensed version of the ranking of the episodes. But Alec, what do you have for the people before we get out of here?
Same as usual, man. Thank you guys for sticking with us this long. We always appreciate the support and the views. As you guys continue to grow, we continue to grow. So we can't thank you enough for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alec, it's always a pleasure talking some Star Wars, and we still have to make this video of the condensed version of this pop list. But until next time, guys, may the Force be with you.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.